we had General Dunford for lunch. He said correctly that we have a coalition of 60-plus countries aligned to fight ISIS. You wouldn't know it from what happens on the ground on a day-to-day basis, or even in the air. So the question is, there has to be some kind of international umbrella, I think, that pulls this together, because there needs to be a Western air component and some kind of a Sunni ground force ultimately. Is there a NATO role? Is that a UN role? Is this a coalition of the willing? Let me ask each of you this question. I'll start with you, Strobe. What's the way the world comes together and makes this happen?
Well, I think all of the above, and there have been, of course, at least initial suggestions that NATO should get into the fray as NATO because of Paris. I mean, Article 5. And that was something, by the way, that NATO did back when the United States was hit on 9/11. You know, one of the peculiar things about this is we're dealing with something that calls itself a state and now is in some ways acting like a state, but it doesn't have a capital that we can be sure of getting the leadership in. The Russians, as a result, of course, the downing of their plane, attacked Raqqa, which is the kind of de facto capital of ISIL. But you can bet whoever was in Raqqa at that time, Mr. el-Baghdadi was not there, the head of the caliph, as it were. So it's a very amorphous enemy, but it does, and I think you mentioned earlier that the chairman said that the military capability of ISIL was not all that bad. But it's only apparently impressing Western military experts in their tactics. What is their strategy? What are they trying to do? And as they spread themselves thinner and thinner and take on the whole world, which is essentially what I would say is the biggest thing about Paris. I mean, the carnage was terrible, but it was really the fact that they decided to go after the political West. And that is going to make it, I think, a stronger argument to put together the kind of international effort you're talking about.